everybody. The Sonobe crew has made it, so I'm sure Michael will do overall introduction, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to him for a quick conversation.
Thanks, brother.
You bet.
Hi, all. I'm Michael Connolly. I just want to welcome you guys to Sonobe and a part of our fam. I'm so happy to be here with you.
It was all a dream.
How it started? Well, let's see. So I got back from Iraq and I wanted to start something. I've always been entrepreneurial. It's always been about creating and building. So getting back from Iraq and getting out of the Army, it was about trying to figure out what was next for me. My wife, Courtney, got a job here as a nurse anesthetist. And prior to that, I got a job in Florida as a flight instructor. And I was in DeLand and I started at the time investing in real estate, flipping houses basically, because you could buy a house for like $20,000 at the time. And I was able to get a little bit of cash together and I used that to invest into starting this software company that at the time we called the Connolly Group. And it was just basically a group of folks, myself and my co-founder at the time, Nathan Thomas, building websites, apps, trying to figure out how to build an organic base, grow that, monetize it with advertising. We did that really successfully. In fact, we got up to 30 million users a month and it was crazy, like a rocket ship, making lots of money, totally unexpected. And from there, it was about how do we monetize that inventory effectively. We started to hire a few folks. We hired Chris Faherty, we hired Mark Brady, those were the first engineers. Another gentleman by the name of Ronald Berner, and we got started building out technology to better monetize the inventory that we had amassed, which was in the billions at the time. And that skeleton was the beginning of Sonobe.
This is it?
That's where it all started, brother. So starting out, it was just me on my laptop with Nathan trying to build these properties and generate that traffic. That was how it started. We started to become successful in doing that, and then we wanted to hire an employee. So the idea was, well, in order to hire someone, we have to have this physical office for them to come to. And of course, my living room wasn't adequate. So we got that first office at the Downtown Executive Center. It was a tiny little cubicle. We'd never hired anyone before, never had any employees. So we were just kind of experimenting. And Chris Faherty was one of the first guys, really employee number one of the entire company, came out there and interviewed out there at the Downtown Executive Center. So guys.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing, brother? Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you again.
Oh my gosh.
Good to see you.
It's changed a little bit, but this is it, man, right?
Same desk.
Your desk was over here. We stayed there. There was 3 of us in that office until it was time to hire the 4th person, which would have been the 2nd full-time employee. But unfortunately, that first office at the Downtown Executive Center was just much too small. We could only do 3 in here.
3.
It was basically SUV seating.
He came in half the day, and then Jesse came in the other half of the day because we could only fit 3 people in here.
Yeah.
And that's why we had to get out of here because there was no space. So we moved over to 125 East Indiana, and we were there for a while, probably a couple years. All right, so next so we ran out of space because we had 4 employees instead of 3. So we moved 2 blocks down there to 125 East Indiana. Right, so that's where we're going next. And that's kind of where the company, we got Mark, we got, Justin, we got more people. So a lot of people remember that. Not a lot of people remember this. Really only Chris was ever in here. But yeah, that's where we're heading next. Yeah, so big memory here was the rats in the ceiling. They would scurry across, and what was phenomenal about it is there was an actual cat that lived up there that would kill the rats and keep the population down. So I was fascinated at how they got up there, but I learned from Chris they actually jump off of the palm trees.
Yeah, over in our office.
Yeah, mostly in your office area is where they were.
I assume, it was escape or something.
I think they were attracted to his lunch.
It looks like they fixed that problem though. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Honestly, we didn't believe you at first.
Well, yeah, I didn't need to explain it because they were falling out of the ceiling.
But that wasn't the only rat in the building. Remember the remote control rat?
Oh yeah, and we actually had a little remote control rat that we would scurry through the hallway.
Yeah, on my first day here.
That's an HR violation.
It came around the corner into my office.
Really, on the first day?
And I thought, what the heck is that? And I could hear him laughing in the office next door.
That's an HR violation now.
The good old days.
Okay, so we first met in
Class 0504.
Class 0504 in 2004.
October 2004.
Which is what the 04 stood for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Class 5 of the
of 04.
year 04, yeah. Yeah.
Which was Army Flight School in Fort Rucker.
Yep. Lower Alabama.
Yep, Lower Alabama. And we sat right next to each other during flight school, primary specifically, which is like this first 16-week block. Sat right next to me, and Justin got to hear me get chastised by my flight instructor, Frank Ovnik, literally every day.
Daily.
After class.
During class.
During class. He would tell me about how I wasn't really good at anything.
Yeah, he called you a Yankee several times in various, deprecating manners.
Right. So that was flight school, and from there, I went off to join my unit. Justin went off to join his. He flew Apaches. I flew Blackhawks, which are way better than Apaches. And then when we got out, I got out of the Army. I got out of Iraq, came back, and started to work on my thing. He had a little bit of time left, and then you got out. And what happened then?
Yeah. So as I was wrapping up my active duty commitment, he contacted me and was interested in what my plans were, and that he had several things going on and wanted me to get involved maybe in some of those if I was interested. And at that point there was kind of like, it was up in the air on two different paths I could have taken. There was go sell turbine engines for GE, go be a salesperson. That's kind of the normal path where this thing takes, or take this opportunity to go do great things with Michael. And it was a I don't know, for me it was a relatively easy decision to make. And going back to what I was saying before about being able to read people when you first meet them, one thing that I took away from flight school when it came to Michael was that, and I've told people this over the years, if I've ever met one person that was going to be a billionaire, it was him. I knew it when you talk to him, his mindset, his focus, his ability to clearly articulate and understand where his life's path was going to take him. And so when I got the opportunity to do something with him, I knew it was going to be something interesting. 2013, we uprooted and then moved out here to this Winter Park office.
What do I love about this company? It's the people. When you understand a business is a team sport, once you realize that, then what you become as a leader is you become a team builder. That's your goal. That's your focus. If you're focused on anything else, then it's going to end poorly. So for us, it was about putting together the best team we could with the very limited resources we had, especially initially. So for us, the folks we were looking for were just raw talent, had raw talent. Maybe they didn't completely understand this business, but they had drive, they understood effort equals outcome, and they were just gonna pour themselves into making themselves better, and through that process, make the company better. I think we've been fortunate to have an extraordinary team that's incredibly committed to the success of Sonobe. That's what I love. I love seeing it grow from where we were to where we are now and where we're going, and doing that with the same people along the way.
Yeah, one thing I'll never forget at Sonobe, it's probably one of the memories that stick in my mind the most, is the first day I started when I got onboarded. I was given a bucket, and I said, what's the bucket for? Is that for a trash can? And I was told, no, it's for the leaky roof. You've got to stick that on your desk. So I did, and it did. Every time it rained, I had to put the bucket up on the desk, and I had to move my keyboard around because it would get wet. And I didn't even have an office, I was in a hallway, so. But that sticks in my mind.
My fondest memory at Sonobe is probably my first interview and my first few days here at the company. So when I first came in to interview with Justin Kennedy, the COO, I walked into the doors of this very office, and the first thing that I noticed is that I was the only asshole wearing a tie except for Justin. So they stuck me into the interview room, and a few minutes go by, and then in comes walking Matt Papa. Guy's wearing a t-shirt, flip-flops, and shorts, and here I am, full suit, ready for an interview. He and I chit-chat for a while. Justin comes in, again, dressed like I was, a little bit more what I would have assumed business appropriate. And we went through our interview process, and then about 10 minutes later, Michael Connolly walks in. He sits down, dead serious in the face, stares at me and says, "We'll know if you make it in 30 days or not." And so for the next 30 days, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta bust my ass so that I can prove to these guys that not only can I make it, but I can do a great job here too.
The culture is a lot of fun. We are always laughing and having a good time, but also kind of picking on each other in the best ways. I just enjoy working with everybody daily, and like I said, we have fun, but we also work really hard, and I think it is just a very rewarding team environment to work with.
I love Sonobe because it's successful. So from the beginning, I worked on projects that never made any money, and so I was like, hey, Mike, what can I do, to get something that was successful and all that stuff. So I was always sort of chasing the companies that he created that were successful. Sonobe wound up being the greatest thing. They allowed me to come on board. So I love that about it. It's basically the conclusion of many different ideas, and the execution was fantastic, and it grew into quite a successful big company with lots of engineers.
It was all a dream.
At Sonobe, I think the culture is one of which we are a unit. I know change can be difficult, but in 6 months, I promise you, and even more so in 12, as a combined entity, we are going to have more scale, more influence, and be more competitive together than we've been apart. So thank you guys, and pleasure to be here with you. We're here in Kansas City in the Amply office. Super excited to be here. We just addressed the company. It was first time speaking to them. I think it was great to see some of the faces and brief our plan. So yeah, we're super excited. So 10 years. So we're in the office in DeLand, and there's rats falling out of the ceiling, and here we are now. Did I think we'd be here 10 years ago? Yeah, I did. I definitely did. And it's been a lot of hard work. It's been a challenge, but yeah, we've always visualized this outcome, and we've got more to visualize. And the key is you visualize it, and then you bend that into reality, and that's what we continue to do as a team. So, yeah, proud, grateful, blessed to be in this position, and this is something we have intended for the company.